So, in conclusion, something that we were saying our goodbyes and everything, and we knew we were going to stay in contact as friends no matter what. Because, when we do these cases, we are more than, investigators to family. We become friends with them, and then in some instances we become family. And of course, this was one of them. And as we were saying our goodbyes, Chris goes, Wesley, for everything that you and Melissa have done for my family, what can Roseann and I do to help? So I had a wonderful idea. Join Branson Paranormal. And of course, Roseann said, hell yeah. So we've been together doing investigations ever since. We've all got ordained 3 months later in May. This is what I've been joking around today, saying this is kind of like the ministers of defense, spiritual defense. Anyway, guys, that's all we have for you. Thank you very much for listening to us. Anyone have any questions before we walk out of here and get warm?
I do. Tell them about your book.
I'm trying to see. Oh, which one?
Tell them about your book.
Oh, yeah, the book you see down at my table, Deliverance from Evil, that is the complete Chris and Roseann Cupit haunting story.
We do have DVDs, but we forgot.
Well, where can people get them online?
You can get them online at Amazon or Kindle.
Amazon or Kindle?
Or Kindle, or
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Million. I mean, most of the books websites you can.
But the cheapest way to get it, from me.
And how can...
Amazon is expensive, unfortunately.
And we can hand autograph.
Yeah,
and then, House of Echoes. Real quick, that is my family story. Like I said, that's the one that's going to be on 12/14/2014 on a haunting on Destination America at 9 p.m. So it's going to be 2 weeks after their episode. Their episode is actually the mid-season premiere for a haunting coming back because they took off 2 months.
And that'll be right after Thanksgiving on the 3rd.
And your episode is called
Child's Play.
Child's Play, and they're both on a haunting.
Yeah.
On Destination.
Yep, their episode is Child's Play. My episode was called
Ghost in the Attic or something.
Ghost in the Attic.
Nightmares in the Attic, I think is what it was called.
Okay, and how do people get a hold of you?
People get a hold of us at Branson Paranormal.
On Facebook?
On Facebook. I do have an author page, Wesley Fox, or my personal page. I know Roseann's on Facebook. But the Branson Paranormal has a page.
We've got Deliverance from Evil page on Facebook.
Yeah.
House of Echoes.
And then also there is, you can get a hold of us at foxclanpublications.com.
And Foxclan also has a Facebook page too.
Yeah. Branson Paranormal at yahoo.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
And congratulations. Oh, okay.
The Stockport case that I mentioned that we were, getting ready like the next day, that case, we had been working on that for a little while at that point. We ended up doing the overnight investigation, and this was Stockport, Iowa. So, it was like 400 miles away from our house in Branson. But we come into, from Stockport, everything is fine. We finished up the Cupit stuff, and that would have been in February, then March, April, May, June, July. About 8 months later, Nolan, the oldest kid in the family, started having a lot of issues. He was having things like he was something telling him to commit suicide. Every night when he would go to bed, he would have a dream that he would walk down in the attic and he would see his bloody body where he had cut his wrist or his throat. And he would have this every single night. His mom woke up one night, to make a long story short, she was getting ready for work. She went to look for Nolan. She can't find Nolan anywhere. She goes into their bathroom, and he had actually taken over 500 Tylenol pills. How anyone survives from that, I don't know. But they get him to the hospital, and you are in nowhere, Iowa, in Stockport. Trust me, there's nowhere close. But they get him transported to the hospital. They get him to where he's doing better. When they check his weight in at the hospital, it is 166.6. 666. Finally, after about a week, he gets to where he's, doing better, no problems, feeling great. They take his IV out, and of course they're going to put him in the psych ward side to check on him for a little bit. But when they take the IV out, Nolan's kind of a smart aleck, so he's like, he sits down in a chair and kind of lays back a little bit and goes, you know what, I must be the Antichrist. And as soon as his butt hit the chair, all the lights just shut off. And the whole hospital, this is the University of Iowa hospital, and they said that has never happened.
They couldn't get the generators to work, nothing.
Nolan was in there for a week under observation. The doctors found no waves of depression. He's not depressed. They didn't understand it. His parents were too scared to take him back to the house. They brought him straight to Branson because we had to do the exorcism.
One thing that was really weird is taking 500 Tylenol, okay? It's going to do some damage to your liver. It's going to do some damage to some internal organs. Nolan has absolutely no side effects at all.
Wow.
None. So the doctors are kind of baffled about that.
But we, Joe either said we needed to do an exorcism. We had never performed an exorcism before. Joe had done at least one. So of course we're like, we're going to do this, but don't really know how. So Joe was on the phone. He kind of told us what to do. And, I'll tell you, it's not what you expected with The Exorcist. But there was a few things that happened. There was something going on. When his eyes turned from brown to pure black with the glaze, there's something wrong, especially when it looks up at you and says, God? Your God is a joke. Wow. And his voice tone changed, everything. And I think, we probably thought we was going to have to change our shorts probably.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that was the scariest part of the whole ordeal, I thought.
Well, and the other thing about Nolan is, aside from his voice and things like that, he had a strong Christian belief. Just talking to him in general, before the demon, I guess, if you want to say, was really showing itself through him, he had a good Christian foundation. He had the belief, he had the faith and everything like that. So at that point, between the eyes changing and then of course him saying, God, your God doesn't exist, and he was laughing, you mentioned Jesus, he would laugh about that. And of course we had crosses, we had holy water, we had Bible, all the tools necessary, and
Too much detail. I got to find a book to find out what happened.
yeah. But anyway, we were making comments about those and how it was a joke and how that stuff wasn't going to work and everything like that.
And so what's the name of that book?
That is going to be called An Exorcism, A Soul Held Hostage. Is at least the working title we have right now. We did have one other idea, but what was it called, Melissa? Do you remember?
No.
What good are you?
I don't know. Tell me.
Anyway, guys, that should be out probably about August, so you will hear me talk about that in 2015 at Haunted Springs.